Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com.
Hello, today we've got us an old used horseshoe. We like doing stuff with used items in the blacksmith shop. Today we're going to take this horseshoe and we're going to make us a nice little horseshoe heart. Decorative for the wall or to give that someone special. But the first thing we've got is, as you can see, we've got nails in here. We want to make sure we get the horseshoe nails out of it. We're not going to need those. You can cut those out, beat them out, hammer them out. I try to just get a pair of pliers, straighten them out just enough to get them to push out. Some of these, like this one here, is in there pretty hard. So you know what? They don't want to come out. Some things are just meant to be. Watch this. We'll just see if we can break it off right close. Get rid of the ring. I'm going to leave it in there, but I'm going to get a different hammer. Get a little bit of a bigger hammer. Now I'm going to leave that one in since it doesn't want to come out. This one's even got a little mud to go with it. Or at least we presume it's mud. Alright, first thing to do, just like always, we got our little shoe here. We're going to go into the fire. Now, obviously, we got to get it straight. To some degree, we got to get this thing straight. So, we're going to go in here after we bust up our clump. As we put our coal in, it starts to make a mass on top sometimes, so we'll get that all busted up. Or we can get a piece of iron in and out. And I'm just going to go in one end at a time. Now we are going to spend some time getting this straight. We're not going to straighten it on the horn of the anvil, as I've seen people try to do. It's kind of dangerous. The horseshoe can take off out of your hands. It's hard to keep it under control. So we're going to use our turning hardy here today. It just gives us something to get inside of and to pry against it. And it's nothing real special, but it does come in handy. It'll take just a minute or two to get this up to temperature. See, get little sparks, all that baby. I mean, she's good and hot. Now we're going to come out here to our bending fork, and we're going to start to straighten this out. And as you can see, we're straight right through there. It wants to turn and twist a little bit. We'll take the hammer to that, straighten that out. Now we'll work back off that other edge a little bit. This time we're able to put a little bit more of the shoe into the fire. So as we heat this up a little bit, work on that one part there. I thank everybody who watches the show, our Rural Heritage, and being a part of Rural Heritage is a great opportunity as well. We have a good time and enjoy being with them. And we also enjoy all the questions and the comments that we get from you, especially, you know, the blacksmithing, which is what most of them are. A lot of people's got questions about anvils and where you get a forge like that and all of that. We'll address a few of these while we're working on this piece. You know, anvils are pretty hard to find. There's a lot of anvils out there, but good anvils and anvils are two different things. The big red one right there in the front, old red, that'd be an example of a good anvil. What you want to look at is nice square edges, similar to the ones here on this Vulcan anvil that I've had, and that's the one I use most of the time in the shop. And people said, boy, that anvil of yours doesn't ring. And they'd be correct. That's right. My anvil doesn't ring. And there's a reason for that. So I'll demonstrate that while this piece heats up a little more on the other end while we straighten. Whenever we're inside this closed building, and I'm hammering on a piece of iron, and you hear that, this anvil here is a cast iron anvil with a steel base. And that takes the ring out of this piece. Now on the other hand, this is a wrought iron anvil. And I'll have to move my pieces of chain because that's why they are there. Now if you can imagine standing at the anvil right here for 4 to 6 hours and hearing that, or even get out here toward the heel of the anvil and hearing that, yeah, you think it's Sunday morning church service time. So sometimes you'll see a blacksmith that has chains wrapped around an anvil. Watch this. The vibration goes to the chain and it just disperses. Now I just don't use that anvil because it rings so much, and this is the first anvil I ever bought, and I've had it all this time. It's like an old friend, and it doesn't ring, and it sounds nice and low in my shop, and my ears don't hurt from it. So that's kind of one of the reasons that I use that one, mostly the reason. Now if I go to a festival or somewhere out and about, I take an anvil like old Red there. Whenever I hit something, I want everybody to hear it because I want to draw their attention, have them come check out what we're doing. So that's the difference of that. If you're just starting out in blacksmithing and you're wanting to get an anvil, go to one of these kind of a second-hand tool shops that sell different tools, cheap tools, and find one there that's 100 pounds. You might get one for $100, $150. You're probably going to beat the dickens out of it anyhow, so you might as well not spend a whole lot of money on your first anvil. Then if you take to it real well and you really enjoy it, you want to graduate up to a lot nicer anvil, and then you're willing to give the money for one, then do it at that time. Okay, so we've been in here heating up our piece. Now what we want to do now, we're pretty much straight, so I'm going to figure out about where the end, or the center I should say, where the actual center of my shoe is, and I just eyeball that by where the creases come together. And I'm going to lay that here on the edge of the anvil, and I'm going to smack that and make a crease in that there. And that's all we're going to do with that for now. That's going to be, whenever we fold this back together, that gives us the ability to fold it back together. So as I come out here to the anvil, I'm just looking for about center. And I do that. As you see, whenever we do that, we take it out of our straightness a little bit. I'd like to get that just a little bit deeper than that. So we'll heat that up again. Now the forges, on the other hand, they're a little bit more available, it seems, at farm auctions, which is where most of my stuff came from. Farm auctions were the goodness of people's hearts who knew that I was interested in blacksmithing and wanted it to go to someone who was going to use it and use it to educate. Some of these anvils and pieces have been in people's families for a long time, and we really appreciate the opportunity that we've had to get those. So now, as you see, I've got my, basically it's a V made in there. At the end, this is going to fold together and make the heart. So now we have the reins, if you will. We need to draw those out. So we'll go back in the car and start those out one at a time. We're going to lay this out here, and we're going to draw this out to a point. We'll hammer on both sides of this as we go. As you can see, that metal starts to move in front of my hammer, and I'm just chasing that ball. And then it starts to get cold, and then you have to go back in the fire and heat it back up. we draw this piece out, we're trying to work on a point here. So we draw this out to a nice even taper. We're going to bring that out really some more yet. But we all don't have the same experiences, the same understanding of certain things. We don't all have the same abilities, but each one of us has things. I hear people, they say, well, I can't do anything. I can't carry a tuner bucket. I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, can't sure never did anything. And if you do nothing, I mean, that's just what you're going to end up with, nothing. I, for instance, don't have a lot of the gifts that a lot of my friends have. I wasn't born to be a doctor or a lawyer or any of those kind of things. I always loved history. This kind of fits in with history. But everything that we have is given to us, you, as we are not here, and all this stuff will be, so it's only mine to use for a while. But I knew back in that day that there was some reason that I was supposed to continue this blacksmithing that my friend Rex got me interested in. And as I say, and most have asked me, I've been doing this 17 years. I'm by far not near the best. May not be the worst, but I'm not the best. But we have to use the gifts and the talents that we have in a good way. And if this was what I was intended to do, and to be able to share, and to be able to teach, and to inspire anyone to do one single thing, and if it was just one single person, I'll have done exactly what I was supposed to do.
Hi, I'm Joe Mishka of Rural Heritage Magazine. I'm on location of one of the many events we cover that celebrates our rural heritage. If you enjoy our show, check out our magazine, where you'll learn more about the people that blend the past with what works today. You can save almost 20% off the newsstand price by subscribing at ruralheritage.com or chat with us at 877-647-2452. That's toll-free, 877-647-2452.
We'll work this shoe out some more. We got one side drew out the way we want it. We're going to try to make this other side match it. Pulling that. Flattening that out. Chasing that little ball of steel that's headed right in front of my hammer. It just keeps running from me. Alright. So I want to maintain a nice even flow. Down to a point. It wants to kind of roll over on me. And I don't want that. So I want to keep straightening it up as I go all the time. Now, I need to figure out here. I'm going to take my long side first. And to see here how close to the same length we are, we'll lay here on the corner of the anvil. We'll just use the hammer as a guide. So I'm about that long on that side. And I'm going to change hands without moving my other hand, hopefully. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So as you see, that's how far off I am. I got an inch to make it. So we'll go back in the fire and we'll heat her up some more. So we have all these good, unique, individual gifts that God's given us, and that's what God asks us to do, is to use those gifts to help others. So we sure appreciate everybody's questions, comments, even bad comments, but we haven't got any yet, but if we ever do, I'm very, I can take constructive criticism, but we sure are happy to be able to come into your home. So here we are, we're hammering for 1 inch. Trying to get that 1 more inch. As you see, I'm not just laying my hammer and chasing this piece around. My hammer about stays here the whole time. I've got my iron out here and I'm bringing it and I'm just pulling it away each time. I'm chasing that little ball of steel. You gotta have fast eyes because it's moving quick. So I guess we better check, see if we got a wrench back. Of course, if it's not perfect, it probably won't be a big deal, but closer the better. Look at that. That's just right. That's just right. Okay, so we've taken our horseshoe. We started with just a regular horseshoe. We straightened it all out. We creased it there in the center. We drew out each side of the reins for making our heart. So I'd say that's probably the next step. We need to start to form and do some bending and start to make this take some shape. So I'll be coming back to the anvil. We're going to go where we did their little crease at the very beginning after we got it straightened, and we're going to use that to start to do our bend for a shoe. So as you see, we've got our start. I'm going to go back in because I don't want to fracture that there at the bottom. Tap this back together to finish this. Okay, something about like that to start with. So now we've got our, looks like a V, slingshot maybe. Anyway, we got that set up. Now we want to go back in. We want to start to heat up our reins there and start to forge our heart. And we'll probably just, since we got to talk a little bit about him today, I'll probably just use old Rex's old cone. The rest of this wouldn't be right not to. Alright, we're just about right. We're going to come over here to the cone. Oh, we're just going to say something maybe about right there, maybe. We'll just get it started. We're not wanting to finish it because we're going to have to tweak it a little some. We're just going to get a good start on it. See, that wants to start to bend to follow the shape of the cone. So we have to compensate for that ever so often. And come back out and flatten. Screw everything up. So now we got bull horns. So now we'll come back in and get another bite. Take her a little further. So this time we're probably going to be trying to focus more on center. We got a good start there, pretty close. We'll focus more on center, bring the center, and then we'll tweak one to match the other. Most generally is how I try to do that. It's just by. Let's see what we got. Okay. That's one side. I just kind of went towards center. It may not be perfect. We'll true it all up directly. Okay, we'll come back out here and we'll try that again. Now we're starting to take some shape. Starting to take some shape now. So now we'll go back and we got that other side. No big deal on going back and forth. Do what we wanted to do. One more little tweak. So we went and we took our horseshoe, used old horseshoe, put them in the forge, got them hot, straightened it out. We creased our bottom down there, drew the reins out, and then we made the heart by using the cone mandrel. And we ended up with the forged heart out of horseshoe. Hey, this is Bryan Headley, the singing blacksmith. I want to thank you all for hanging out with us for the last half hour, and hope you had a good time. And we hope life treats you kind. May your days be filled with blue skies and your nights in peaceful dreams. May you always ride with the sun at your back and your face a gentle breeze. May you shine like a star wherever you are and all you say and do. And may life treat you kind with much happy time. This is my wish for you. God bless you.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.